In this clip, we discuss fasting and insulin sensitivity with Sol Campbell.
How much do you think the modern day footballer has got? We've talked about the statistics side of things, but in terms of the nutrition, Haaland famously talks about his blue light blockers and his nasal breathing, taping his mouth. Well, how much do you think that's changed, and how much do you think is just common sense?
I think it's common sense. I really do. Sometimes it just goes way over the top, and it's like, really? There are some things that say, you know what, I really think that can work and it's good, but nothing's going to replace eating properly.
Yeah.
Exercising, doing the right exercises, and being in a really good, positive environment. That's not going to change now. It's going to be the same in years to come.
Absolutely.
Nothing replaces good mentality.
Yeah, timeless principles. Is there any one technique or one strategy or even one tool that maybe you wish you had available to you or you knew about back then that you've learned later on?
Maybe one thing, fasting has probably come in more.
Okay.
In more as religion. And fasting has come in and people say, oh, I quite like the fasting. I might do that more often. Not full fasting, but not eating and allowing yourself, can muck up your training a little bit. Yeah. Especially as a professional athlete. But that's an interesting thing. Maybe not need it as much while you're training day in, day out as 25, 28-year-old, but might kick in more when you're a 45, 50-year-old. Do you know what I mean? And make more sense to you.
Absolutely. I often tell people, look, we've been on this planet 300,000 years. Most of that time we've been hunter-gatherers. Yeah. So we wake up in the camp, definitely we've eaten the food. Anything left over was scavenged away. Yeah. So now we've got to go forage. We know from David Attenborough documentaries most hunts are unsuccessful. So easily we're not eating until the next evening, maybe even the next day. And you mentioned maybe it's a little bit different for ultra elite athletes or ultra marathon runners. But I think for the day-to-day person, a little bit of fasting can change the whole game. Your insulin sensitivity, reset your hormone system. Essentially, have you played with much fasting?
My wife does a little bit more fasting and things like that. So it's interesting. But fasting, that's come from, inadvertently it's come from religion.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I don't know if they understood it in that entirety. It's more religion. Yeah. But now it's moved into actually it's not bad. Starving your body for 8 hours. Yeah. And then eating after. Things like that. Yeah. It's interesting how it started in one area and then it's gone into another.
Absolutely. Yeah, and it's not just in one religion. It seems to be scattered across different religions. I often wonder whether religion is almost a way of life with lots of wisdom and then God added to the end, or whether it's just about believing in that unique God. Because like you say, in Christianity, Islam, Hinduism, the fasting exists and we see the benefits of it. In terms of insulin sensitivity, how responsive our body is to insulin, an analogy I use is there's a kid that needs a little bit of discipline and a little bit of guidance. If you're nagging him morning, afternoon, evening, nag, what's going to happen? He's going to switch off. Yeah. It's the same thing with your body.
In one ear, out the other.
Exactly. You give that kid 15, 20 hours of silence, let him have a nice long snooze, let him have a morning to himself, maybe tell him go do your homework in the afternoon, he'll listen. But we're conditioned. Breakfast is the most important meal of the day. Have your porridge, have your cereal, have a snack, have a meal deal, have another snack, have your dinner, and you're just nagging that kid, and he switches off. And we're seeing that's across the population. People are becoming more what we call insulin resistant. You create the insulin. Now that bringing it back to that kid, instead of telling him to go do your homework, he doesn't listen. So now you need to raise your voice. Eventually, you need a SWAT team to come and get him to do his homework, and it's like injecting insulin. That's it's no way to live. And I think the beautiful news is that just through fasting and through exercise we talk about, you can reverse this.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.